Welcome to the Eagle's Nest Youth Export Incubator Season 3. In the first phase of the program, dozens of young entrepreneurs from across Zimbabwe brought their businesses to the nest. Now, these 20 have returned to the nest for another round of assessment. During this phase, the judges will review the progress each entrepreneur has made since their last visit to the nest. The selected businesses will proceed to the final round, where the 8 finalists will be chosen and rewarded with an export development package. This season of the Eagle's Nest is proudly brought to you by Zimtrade and EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, in partnership with UN Women. First is an entrepreneur who has had an interesting journey in the nest, Msindazwe Ndlovu.
My name is Msindazwe Ndlovu. Right? I founded the Noble Savage in 2018. I incorporated in 2019. And I moved out of my parents' backyard to a factory site in 2021. And I could safely say I've paid rent and salaries for the last 2 years, 6 months. What we do as the Noble Savage, we recycle waste plastic and glass to manufacture eco-friendly building materials, which are lighter, stronger, durable, and more affordable. Right? We run comprehensively. Basically, our business is a 3-tier business where we run a materials recovery facility where we recover waste, right, to prepare it for production for raw materials. And then we also process that waste further to make building materials, which are roof tiles, your kitchen countertops. We want to be the leading producer of low-cost building materials that incorporate high technology to help accelerate Africa's transition to clean, renewable energy so that every individual can achieve more. That is our vision. And what it has allowed us to do, especially being part of Eagle's Nest, it's allowed us to see the possibilities of how we can push our products even further into the Southern African market. And right now we've started the process, and we actually have now registered as an official exporter with the Reserve Bank. There are things that we learned the first time and we implemented them into the business, and they've made wonders for us. I'm sure if you can even see, the setup of the place has even changed. We've learned how to present ourselves better. Then number 2, the second time around, being part of the program, what we also learned and the expectation has helped us actually register as an official exporter. Right? And number 3 is the big one. We expect to win. The training has taught us, and also has taught me, to understand the basic nitty-gritties of exporting. That the border is no longer a vicious place, but it's a place that you can actually go, and there are actually a lot of benefits by being regularized as a business. Right? Number 2, the judges are not the easiest people, but what I've loved about the judges, they've been very critical in correcting where we're slacking. And they have helped us pull up our socks so that we can perform better. When we perform better, the company performs better and we deliver better, helping grow the business. So since we joined the program, we as the business, we've been able to improve. We've been able to double our income as a business by introducing a new product, which is the sell and export of cardbox. Previously, we were only specializing with plastic, but we now have cardbox. Then, secondly, we have re-strategized our marketing strategy in how we deal with our clients by where we approach them and get them to put in pre-orders, even if they're still far from reaching the roof level, but they put in pre-orders. And these are things that have actually really helped improve our business. And the third one is us officially registering as an exporter rather than using intermediaries. Taking off from the last pitch that we had the last time, there are a few things that you as the judges asked us to go and refine. We went out and we've started taking pre-orders of our roof tiles. And what this has allowed us to do, we've been able to do 3 houses in the last 3 months, and we've got an order to do 6 houses to deliver by December. We've gone on a step further and we've registered with CIFOs. And we now have standing agreements with contractors, which now allows us not to deal with the direct public, but to be able to deal with the contractors who the builders trust, the people that are building do trust. We had an opportunity to go to West Africa, Ivory Coast. And we met clients and potential partners. And they wanted to find out what it would take to bring our products to Ivory Coast. And we studied and we looked at it. Was heavy, the product is too heavy, it won't be cost effective to ship it all that distance. And what we're now working on is then setting up the Noble Savage in other countries that waste is what we use to make our products, and waste is everywhere. So if we export the Noble Savage as a company, not as a product, that becomes one of our greatest strengths as a business.
How many watts is that?
Okay, so this one in particular is a 10 watt.
Okay, you're looking at 10 watt. The standard ones on the market, the Chinese, you can get up to 400 watts on one panel, which is maybe 1.5 by 1 or 2 meters by 1, and you get 400 watts. You'd need 400 of these. How many tiles you put on a roof?
On average on a roof, this is why looking at a house that's at least 100 square meters, you are putting up about 3,500 tiles.
10 watt. Okay, that's not a lot.
This is a prototype. We are able to do it to as high as a 320 watt roofing sheet, because we can make our roof tile up to that size. And if you've got your entire roof roofed with the tiles, which can be bigger or slightly smaller, you are generating more power than you would generally need in your house.
And where is the costing at on that?
We started off at $6. We've been able to get it down to as low as $5. The target is to get it to as low as $2.50.
Does it make sense to tile with that, or it's better to just use the conventional tiles and then just use the normal solar tiles that he's speaking about?
Currently, right now, at its prototype stage, it is cheaper to just buy your normal solar panels. But when we're now mass producing, it becomes cheaper to use.
So the target price at mass production is $250.
Yes.
That's the point at which it becomes cheaper.
Yes.
Thanks.
Tell us about your capacity.
Okay, so we produce about 2,000 a month.
2,000 of the units.
Yes, 2,000 units a
And
month.
we need 3,500 for a roof to be completed, 100 square.
100 square meter.
Oh, okay, roof.
Yeah.
So that's where the problem is.
Yes, capacity, mass production.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the plan for scaling?
So what we've done, we have approached some individuals, and we are selling 30% of our business so that they bring in capital to help us mechanize. And part of also, we are not just heavily reliant on saying that we're going to bring in investors. We have now approached a finance house where I was saying, using our cash cow, which is the sale of waste, we are now going to use that to build our lines of credit with the banking institution to then get asset finance.
Have you pursued trademark? Because I'm just wondering, you want to export it, but anybody can copy the concept and do it after they've realized what you are doing.
We've done the discovery and we're now filing for a patent.
When is that happening?
It's with the lawyers, and so they are doing the whole discovery process for the filing and off.
Msindazo, I'm looking at your products and I'm thinking to myself, is this really, 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 really viable? Dollar for dollar. Does this make business sense? I'm looking at that tile. You said it's $2.
It's $60.
$60. Right. One of your direct competitors who have pretty much like carteled this business, 80 cents to $1. Why would I want to buy that tile?
First and foremost, compared to a concrete roof tile, you are using 12 per square meter, right? Then number two, the concrete roof tile is heavy, right? This is 50% lighter than your concrete roof tile, meaning that when you're constructing your house, you no longer need to make it at 230, which is the thick wall, the double wall. You can even do it at 115, cost saving, right? Number three, our roof tile, right, is insulated because it is more sand than it is plastic. So the insulation is from fire and also from your general weather elements. And then the last but not least, which I find this very personal, is you're able to custom it to whatever color that you want. Instead of having the presidential blue roof that we're used to, you can have your own green roof.
You cannot get away with that, Msindazwe, because I've seen gray tiles, I've seen red tiles, I've seen orange tiles, I've seen...
You see, those tiles, they use oxides, and oxides, there's a limit.
You know what? I'm ready to vote. I'm going to give you a yes, and I'll tell you why. I was ready to throw you out because in the past, I think my fight with you has been, you have been stagnant. Like every time you would come here and you'd give us this one house, you've roofed one house
per year.
Yes, per year. Like who can stand for someone who roofs one house per year? Like how many people are there in Zimbabwe for us to wait for a company that roofs one house per year? And also the issue of the certifications that you now have, right? And I also like the issue of the innovation. That tile actually looks stronger now, right? And maybe you might want to do a bit of scrubbing on your figures and do a bit of costing, because I don't really think that that thing would be marketable at that price. Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't take away my yes. It's a yes for me.
Msindazwe, I want to know how you've gone from one house per year to potentially 12 this year.
Okay, so what we did, right, is we approached and made standing agreements with contractors, where as they sell our tile to their customers, they will also get a commission out of it. Mm-hmm. And then we have also gone on and said, listen, your customer does not need to have all the amount of money up ahead. Mm-hmm. So the minute they do the foundation, they can come and do a deposit, which means that we now secure them
for the build.
So that is the strategy that we've done, and it's rapidly increased our sales.
That's wonderful to hear. It's a yes from me.
You've got the potential, you've got a product. I like the fact that you're young, you're innovative. I'm not too crazy about your solar panel. For me to be off-grid, I need 12 panels, which will cost me, in fact, 6 cost me $900, those 400-watt ones. 12 will cost me $1,800. I don't need to tile my whole house with your solar panel because part of the roofing, some of it might not even get sunshine. So usually we look at strategic spaces only that get that. And a 10-watt panel, difficult to justify the cost of roofing that much. So, but I like the fact that you are thinking about it, and some of those things can be fine-tuned. As technology is moving, you'll get better at it. So it's going to be yes from me, because I like your drive. I like the fact that the raw material is there. The one thing that is missing, which is what Leslie's talking about, is capacity. So, but I'll still give you a yes because I see your potential.
Thank you.
I really need you to refocus your energy. Draw your energy and concentrate on the issues that matter. Currently, when capacity is there, you can now look into other softer issues. But the issue, this is a production, an input, in process, and an output thing. And you need to make sure that system is balanced. So I'm going to give you a 50%.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
I'm going
There
to
we
give you a
go
50.
again.
I'm going to give you a 50% so that you focus on the real issues. This has been our third engagement now, right? And we still have the same problem. And I'm not happy with that. To continuously having you standing in front of there and saying the same old story. So the 50% is next time when we meet, at least we should have moved from at least that 2,000 to 5,000 or something. You know, we need that movement, that growth. So let's focus on that. So I'm giving you a 50% and challenging you to focus on the things that I've just mentioned.
Okay, no. Thank you. Thank you very much.
3.5, narrowed, rounded up. That's 4 yeses. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Why are you guys rounding up my 0.5?
Where have you heard of? Where did you do your mathematics? Actually, where did you do all of your school?
So now I need to
think
put
we
it in
should-
fortnight percentages.
We are ready for export as a business because within the last year, we've been able to fully formalize our business and get all the necessary documentations that we need to export. And now the next step that is allowing us as the business is going to trade shows and expos. And this is us growing now our marketing strategy throughout the region and also throughout Africa. And this is our active participation that we'll be now working on going even into the following year, where we want to attend different trade shows in Zambia. We've attended in Botswana, to attend in Mozambique, and also go to West Africa and East Africa so that we can put our business into the map and get it accepted, our products to penetrate into the African market. And we've got 1.3 billion people. Isn't that a beautiful market too?
Next is Niso. In his first presentation,
I like the fact that you're talking about sort of like being an off-taker, you know, for the and an aggregator at the same time. Because I remember from that study, one of the major issues that came out was that there isn't much money that is being made by our goat farmers in Zimbabwe from goat farming. Most of the money is being taken by the abattoirs and the middlemen, which happens to be you.
In a way, yes. Basically, today I would like to give sort of an update from the last time I was here, especially addressing the concerns that were raised. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the part of trainings that were still being done under NKN Breeding Solutions. I think I can say that we have realized some sort of growth in that sector, in the sense that we have since been partnered by the Goat Breeders Association of Zimbabwe, and in the forthcoming Goat Indaba that will be at the TTF in Bulawayo in October, we'll be doing that one in partnership with the Goat Breeders Association of Zimbabwe. So that should see us having a much bigger platform to interact with a much bigger numbers, which will work to our advantage when the aggregation for export starts. And then also business with the NGO market has commenced. We've sent out our first order successfully and it has been paid for. And currently we are sitting on 6 quotations that are awaiting approval. So I'm happy to report that. And then also in terms of aggregation for export, we have talks that are underway with Zimtrade, where we are trying to come up with a cluster model that should be our modus operandi when we start doing the aggregation, because we want to do it in an orderly way within the southern region, so that at least if we are attacking one district, we know that we can do our aggregation in this district, and then the next month we move on to the other district. In terms of logistics, it should make our life easier. And then also there are a number of concerns that were raised from the technical interventions that were done on site. Part of these are Okay, in terms of addressing these technical interventions, what we've done, I've since hired an assistant, an admin assistant who is helping out with the admin permits, clearances, and that sort of thing, because previously all of that was on my plate, and I'd like to say it's pressure that at some point I wouldn't have coped with, so I was just avoiding pressure becoming inefficiency at some point. So that one has been addressed. This assistant will also be helping us with our social media presence, which was a bit on the low side the last time I was here. And we have also adopted an accounting system, which should really be helping us in terms of our bookkeeping.
Okay, what's your background? Because consultancy has to do with the qualification of the business owner. You can't really separate consultancy from the skills that individual has. What's your background?
Myself, I've acquired quite a number of skills in terms of livestock consultancy from commercial farmers that are within the southern region of Zimbabwe. One mainly to do with beef cattle, and then the other one mainly to do with small livestock, which is goat and sheep. So it's sort of like an on-the-job training that I've done with these commercial farmers.
So in terms of qualifications of your own, any?
No, I have not done any formal qualifications when it comes to like animal science or something.
What have you done?
I'm an accountant by qualification.
Okay, but you've just gotten yourself an assistant who's going to do your accounting.
I am concentrating on being on the ground, doing the day-to-day work.
Niso, can you talk about any export potential of the work that you're doing?
Last time I did mention that we've trained quite a huge number of farmers that have emerged from subsistence to commercial farming, and we continue to do that sort of training. But now with where we are going, especially this training that's coming in October, we are training farmers to produce along the requirements of the export market, so that when I do the aggregation, I know that this is the pool of farmers that I've been working with. I am certain to say their farming practice goes in line with the expectations of the export market.
I thought that it would be more feasible to export the consultancy services and even the training services than the actual goats. I don't know, does the country have enough capacity in terms of goats to be exported?
With the group of farmers that we have been working with and continue to bring into the goat industry, it's looking bright. So now it's worth making an attempt, because the thing with the export market is once we start, there has to be consistency. We can't be exporting in March and then in April we do not have the numbers. So once we start, there has to be consistency. So now there is confidence to start.
Niso, have you done any export before, of
No.
any sort? So you've seen a demand for goats, and now you're trying to create supply for it.
Yes.
And you haven't done it before.
No, I haven't done it before.
Because from your introduction, you didn't come through as somebody who's a goat breeder. I don't know how this program would benefit you really. You don't have the capacity, perhaps. From me, the financial side sounds like you still are having capacity issues in terms of finances.
This is where the interaction with Zimtrade comes in the sense that the inquiries, or rather the orders, have been coming in through Zimtrade. Now, Zimtrade, knowing the players that are on the ground, they have approached players like myself to say, okay, there is an inquiry to do with goat meat. What is the reality that's on the ground? And the reality that was on the ground 2 years back when I started interacting with Zimtrade was the numbers were too low. So which is why I positioned myself in the market in such a way that let me begin by capacitating commercial breeders. This is why I started by supplying breeding stock. And now these farmers have been at it for at least 18 months, and their numbers have significantly gone up.
What about your own numbers?
Well, my numbers are they're fair. They are fair. Breeding is not really my cash cow. My cash cow is the consultancy part, because for me, I spend a small amount of time at my plot. I spend the greater part of my time doing work at other people's farms.
So to me, I think currently the business case needs to be really worked around, right? And you see where exactly the value is coming from. Is the value coming from breeding? Is the value coming from aggregation? Is the value coming from consultants? Because I think your tentacles are spread too much in a way that then it becomes difficult to identify who exactly you are. And I think probably from my assertion would be, Niso, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's go and assess what exactly is on the ground, right? Where are we getting more of our value? Where is more potential of growth? Let's focus on that. Let's build capability. Let's build capacity around that. Let's build a cleaner business model around that. So I think for now, I would want you to really work around the business model, perfect the business model, build the necessary infrastructure or build the necessary capabilities on the business that you have. And then from there, we can then work on how then do we propel you for export. So for me, for now, I think it's a no.
Okay. I have a different opinion. I think you're actually a great candidate for the export incubation. You just are probably excitable about the consultancy side of your business because obviously that's what's feeding you right now and it seems to be going in a better direction. It also probably needs you to exert a lot less energy as well. But given the show that you're on, right, and the country that you're operating in, we need to have products which we can export. So we are more interested in you doing the breeding and the aggregation. Maybe look for a client who you can start exporting to on a low scale to finance your build up to this big client's demand. All right, at least there you're showing the promise. You're acting on the vision. You know, right now it's like what are you doing? I can see why Les has the sentiments that he has. But otherwise, I think you are a perfect candidate. And Zimbabwe used to be, I think, one of the biggest exporters of beef to Europe even. And I love that we can be able to capture the UAE market as well with this. And we do well to do that as well. And that's why our currency used to do.
So why don't you allow you the chance to go and work on the business model? Why do you want to give him pressure to go and, when the basics are not yet correct?
It goes back to what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Because now, if we then say, okay, we are pushing him forward, for what reason? For what business model?
He's already breeding and growing goats for the local market.
What are the numbers?
We do an average batch of about 90 every month. We buy from subsistence farmers, we do conditioning at our plot, and then we slaughter for the local market.
So how much are you making a month?
Well, I've got income from the breeders side and income from the slaughter.
Focusing on the goats.
Sorry, when I just cut in. When you say slaughter, are you just providing an abattoir service? Or are you talking about your own goats?
No, I'm talking about the goats that I take to the abattoir. They get slaughtered and then I supply to butcheries.
Okay, he wants to know about the goat sales to the butcheries.
The goat sales to the butcheries. The goat sales to the butcheries are giving me a net of about, I would say, 1.6 a month, a net profit.
For me, it's still going to be a yes, because I really want to see you push this project forward. Absolutely, you do need the focus. You can see that you've gone completely off topic, right?
Yeah.
You're going in a different direction, yet you're on an export incubation show. Okay.
Okay, so for me personally, I don't have a problem with you not having sector-specific qualifications, because in my experience working with farmers, even in agribusiness, I've noticed that most of them have been on a look and learn drive. So farming is a doing word.
Yes.
It's something that you learn as you go. look at the lady who does Zukomborero farm. Yeah, she actually had to learn on the job. But now Zukomborero is one of the biggest goat consultancy companies in Zimbabwe. You look at even the Boer Goat Association, look at even the Goat Breeders Association. There's so much of, I think as Zimbabweans, we have embraced farming and we have gone on a look and learn. And most of these, especially in Matabeleland, most of these farmers that are actually well-to-do, some of them are accountants. There's this guy from Uganda with a lot of goats. What's his name?
I forget his name, but he's a medical doctor.
I think yes, he's a medical doctor. Yeah. He's a medical doctor, but he is so huge. Like, he's called to South Africa, he's called to so much. The mistake that you made was to say you're not considering exporting consultancy and training services. That's where your money is. The actual export of the goats, getting the 5 tons, getting the 2 tons, there's really a shortage of goats in Zimbabwe, truth be told. Yeah, but you're definitely a good candidate for this program. It's a yes for me.
I have a question for you. Do you have your own premises that you're raising your goats?
Yes, I do.
How big is your plot?
It's a 3-hectare plot.
3 hectares?
Yes.
And on 3 hectares, you're managing to push out 90 goats per month?
I'm also doing pasture irrigation. So I'm not really depending on feeding them on the veld, but I'm also growing my own lucerne.
Okay, because to slaughter 90, those are goats that are ready for market.
Yeah.
How many are you keeping?
We are keeping we've got a breeding herd of about 47 females now and 3 bucks.
Because you said you're selling 90 goats per month.
Yes.
Where are you keeping those goats?
We are buying them from the livestock sales that are being done by the local rural district councils, bringing them to the plot for conditioning. So we hold on to them for about 2 to 3 weeks at the plot, and then we take them to the abattoirs.
So on 3 hectares, 90 slaughter, how many do you have at any given time?
The entire herd at a time will range anything from maybe 140 to 180, depending on how good our sales are.
Okay. To be honest, I'm not convinced that your goat sales business is sustainable at this stage and is able to export, if that's what's coming for the Zimtrade Eagle's Nest. Secondly, your consultancy, I actually side with Leslie on this one. I think to export consultancy, it's easier when you're on the ground, local people coming and seeing what you're doing on the ground. But it doesn't sound to me like you have a big operation where people can say, how is he doing it? Then they want to consult and find out, and then you make money from that. Without qualifications, when you're talking about people from outside the country, you need more than that. And also a Zim brand in terms of goat breeding. I don't know if we're that big that people would then come to Zim for consultancy instead of the other regional players who actually do better in terms of livestock. You know, you've got places like Namibia and Botswana, you've got South Africa, and those guys do better in terms of, I know we used to do very well before. We used to export to the EU, but currently I don't know if we have a reputation and if your consultancy will hit home running. So it's going to be a no for me for that reason. I don't think you have something that we can say can be exported immediately and is ready. The figures are not adding up for me. So it's a no from me.
Thank you.
2 yeses and 2 nos. We'll have to send you to the waiting room. And the admin will get back to you on whether you go through or not.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm Danford Mdandishe from Cleanup Detergents. I'm one of the co-founders of Cleanup Detergents. When I finished my degree in local governance in 2016, I was looking for a job and I couldn't find a job. Then I started selling brooms and other cleaning accessories. In 2018, I joined my co-founder and we started manufacturing cleaning detergents and other cleaning chemicals. In terms of export, we are envisioning to be able to supply more of our degreaser and our pine gel, since it is with the target countries which we are targeting to supply those chemicals. We are mostly targeting to supply the mining countries, especially Zambia, DRC, and other mining countries in SADC. Our expectation for participating in this program is to be able to be export ready. As Zimtrade has been doing, we've been supported by capacitation in terms of knowledge and more information on how to export and what is needed when exporting. And this information is very important because we've seen that it is possible to export. We have improved our marketing strategies, especially the digital and social media marketing has increased. We acquired more skills from the trainings which we have been getting, and from the judges, they've been giving us some more insights, what we need to improve in our products, labeling, branding, our brand visibility, even the way we conduct ourselves. Through this program, we also improved in our administrative functions. We also improved in our bookkeeping, accounting systems. That has helped a lot because we are now able to track our cash flows and forecast and plan financially, because we are now able to see the records. We also improved, on our packaging and the sizes of packaging through the trainings and how to measure the units which we are supposed to be packing. And that was very important to our business because we are now able to use the actual measurements, which are standard measurements. As we are preparing for being export ready, we are also working on certifying our products with the Standards Association of Zimbabwe.
Stanford, you're looking very smart. You look like a banker today. You're looking sharp.
Thank
I thought
you.
I'd say that before the judges came in.
Thank you so much.
Stanford, tell me, what work have you done on your export traction?
Actually, when we started the Eagle's Nest program, we were thinking about exporting. So with what we got from these trainings, we've managed to improve our products and
Okay, but what have you explored? Any export markets?
not yet as of now.
Is it which export markets are you targeting with your product?
We are much more focusing on mining countries, like the likes of DRC, the likes of Zambia, because they use more of degreasers in their machinery.
Okay. Of your products, how much is this?
That one goes for $50.
$50.
Yes.
Okay, and then the dishwashing?
The dishwashing liquid goes also for $50.
$50.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and that's pine gel, right?
Yeah, this pine gel.
How much is it?
This is a 1 liter. It goes for $3.
$3.
Yes.
How much are you making a month?
Every month from cleaning services, we make per week, we make around $300 per week.
Okay.
Then converted to a month, that's around 1,200.
Okay, and
for
from
cleaning services. Then for detergents, for the first and the second quarter of this year, we managed to sell around $9,500. But it's a bit, we have seen a decline from the sales which we had last year. Because last year we saw maybe it was because of, it was post-COVID, so there was a rise in the uptake of our products. But this year, we've seen a decline from the first and the second quarter.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's fine. And what's your capacity in terms of production?
In terms of production, actually detergents are not so they don't require much in terms of labor, in terms of in terms of technicalities, but in terms of capital, they need a lot of money. But as of now, to the capital side, we are falling short, but to the technical side, we are good, and we can make, in a week, we can make more than 5,000 liters. So for cleaning services, we are trying to scale up, because for last year, with the profits which we made last year, we managed to buy some machines, high-end machines for sofa cleaning, carpets cleaning, mattress cleaning. So for that, we are ready. We are able to service even 3 to 5 clients a day. Yeah.
Which line are you planning on exporting? Is it the detergents or both?
When we thought of coming for Zimtrade incubation, we had our degreaser in mind and our pine gel. But when we came here, we also noticed that we can also export our services. There are other players who are in the industry here in Zimbabwe who are foreigners. So we got opened up that we can also go outside as they are coming in.
Denford, what's unique about your product? I'm just wondering why someone would import a degreaser when it's so easy to make. You did say that detergents are very easy to make. What that means is the barriers to entry are very low.
My product is so effective as compared to those cheap formulations. And our formula is it's one of those unique formulations in Zimbabwe, which we have developed using our technical person, our engineer.
If you're struggling with sales, try to push your price down and just make a product that is within $1. You see your sales going up. I don't know how you're going to do that, but try to push your costs down so that at least your price go down. People in Zimbabwe like things that are within $1. So you tend to sell more. I think, like what Mrs. Stoller was saying, the unique proposition is not about what you have done to the product, it's the value that you are giving to the client. So every time when a unique proposition question is posed, don't look about how nice you have formulated and things like that. It's about what is the perception about your product from the market, which is very important.
Okay,
I think this business pretty much it's a low entry business. Yeah, you need to be pushing volumes for you to make it in that business. Which is pretty much like a food industry setup. If you have the capacity, like you're mentioning, that you can actually do more, I think I'll give you the chance to actually probably go and, go to the next level and get an opportunity to then even. But I think there's a lot that you can do. If you correct your pricing and if you correct your distribution, if you also correct your marketing, there's a lot that you can do. And there's other markets, small markets, your growth points and, things like that, your schools, your clinics, mines and things like that locally. So there's a lot of potential for you within the market.
Denford, who are your major customers?
Currently, our major customers are schools, local authorities, hospitals, and individuals. Individuals, they are not yet our major customers.
Okay, so the reason I'm going to push you forward is because I think the last time you didn't have Harare as one of your cities where you're now pushing your products, which is actually a plus for me. It shows that there's some level of growth. I'm going to give you a yes.
Oh, thank you.
Is there a reason why you're not doing retail?
The retail needs a lot of capital, and because it needs a lot of capital, and the capital which you invest in retail, there are no quick returns from the retail sector.
So it's cash flow issues.
Yeah, the cash flow issues.
Looking at your packaging, it looks like you're targeting some form of retailing for, I'm assuming, for export.
We have these products, and I thought they are good for samples rather than carrying 20-liter containers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at some point you want to get into retail, at some point?
Yeah, at some point, that's the target.
That's okay. I think your packaging in terms of container are okay. These things are pretty much generic. Unique molds would be interesting, but I guess financing is an issue. I would also improve on my labeling. Your labeling, there's a lot of pixelation, and even the way they were cut, some of them look like they're not cut by die, but by hand, and some of them don't stick on and so forth. So if you do then eventually decide to go into retail, you need to go in with a high-end, at least with the same kind of things that you're using, but at least make sure the quality control is really good, because the competition is high in detergents. So I think for the sake of this program, I'll let you go through, but you have to improve a lot of things if you're going to go into export.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
When we were preparing for this program, to do labeling is quite expensive. We only had labels, proper labels for that container. So I think if you can see...
No, even that one, the same issues appear.
Okay.
You just need to go and correct it. There's no date of manufacturer, there's no date of expiry, there's nothing.
Okay,
so it's falling short. You need to go and improve it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still the same. I'm not going to go deep into it, but there's a lot that you can even see the way it's stuck. It's not straight, etc. Even the font, some of it is not, it's not eligible.
You want us to change our yes now.
And so forth, yeah. So it's okay. You don't have to defend that. I think it's something you just need to improve. Even the idea of coming for a pitch with labels that are substandard usually is not a good thing to do. But anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Danford, my concern is coming from the work. You're on an export incubation show and you haven't done a lot of work towards finding your export market, right? My hope was that you would have a direction that you want to go to now, because I think the product is now looking okay. It's exportable. These that you're showing us are not even the size containers that you're planning on exporting, right?
Yes.
So we haven't seen enough of that side of things. I'm going to give you the opportunity to go through and give you a yes, but I want to see you working more on that. Start doing the footwork that's necessary in that direction.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. 4 yeses. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Okay.
If we are to win this competition as cleanup detergents, we'll be very glad and we'll be very happy. It will mean a lot, and it will boost our confidence that our brand and and what we are doing is also recognized. It will give us more confidence, and it will give us more energy to do more in terms of detergents manufacturing and cleaning services.
Tonight, two businesses, Cleanup Detergents and the Noble Savage, have made it to the final round. They now stand a chance to be awarded an export development package. A grand season finale will be hosted by Zimtrade and EcoBank in partnership with UN Women.